Welcome to the third episode of VIT Today's The Next Step, where we have with us Sakshi Agarwal, who's currently working for Apple as a software developer. Sakshi graduated from VIT Velo's 2020 batch of BTech CSE. She's had an excellent academic journey in which she has interned with companies like Apple, RBS, and Nucleus Software. She was also offered PPO by RBS. Hi, Sakshi. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Yeah. So I'll start with the questions. So when you first joined VIT, what goals did you have in mind? Were big companies like Apple always the dream?
So when I first joined VIT, yeah, as a fresher, I was very confused because there was a lot to soak in. There were a lot of changes, and culturally, and you moved to a whole new place. So there were a lot of difficulties. But no, I didn't had any dream companies, or I wasn't the person who was like at the end of the 4 years of college, I have to land in a tech giant company with a nice job and everything. And I would say there's nothing wrong in that because people actually have pretty clearly laid out goals, and it's good because you know what you have to achieve at the end of the 4 years. But with me it was just a bit different because I have been a very ambitious person from the start, and I set quite high expectations for myself. And when I'm not able to achieve them, I get really demotivated. So I didn't set any expectations like that. For me, first year was just about setting, shorter goals. Have short term goals. For first year, your goal should be just to network with people, get to know everybody around you, and try to talk to seniors or maybe people who are new, get to know hobbies or some fields that you can explore, be it anything academically or even your hobbies. Just try to expand yourself. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
So as you said that you hadn't set very high goals for yourself in the beginning, what motivated you to start working towards them throughout the 4 years of college?
Motivation was mostly it is always friends and family because they are the people who you remember when you're feeling low or you need to be pumped up or you are having self doubts. So yeah, it was mostly friends and family and self motivation, because self motivation can come from anything. It can be your personal journal or a poster in your room of your dream company, or maybe a fear of failure. It was mostly for me, honestly, it was fear of failure because I knew that I am at a very good college and I have to make the most out of it at the end of 4 years. But I didn't know how yet. I didn't know where I have to land yet. But I was just trying to secure decent grades and have a good grasp of what is all going in the class. And self motivation, I would say, you need it mostly in the last year of college because that is like the final lap of the race, and you start to feel a little burnout at the end. You'll start to feel frustrated, or you'll be like, I'm not able to do it anymore. So yeah, you need self motivation at that point of time. So that was important. And I think it's important to keep your friends and family close and reach out to them because family is far away from VIT, and you need to be able to tell them how you're feeling. So communicate more. That was one of the keys for me, and that's how actually I landed the job at Apple. So it was just an interesting story that me and my friends we were sitting down in the July, in the very beginning when the fourth year of college started, and some of my friends just joked with me that you could have landed at a very better job than what you have got in PPO. So just try at a better job. And I told this to my mom, and moms are like always a little protective and ambitious for you. So they were like, yeah, there are companies like people are getting placed in Google, Microsoft, Apple, and everything. So try now, try all of those things also. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So one day I just applied. I was going through LinkedIn and I applied, and yeah, I received a call back suddenly after like a month or so. So yeah, so you don't know where this motivation can come from. It can be some random person. It can be anything. But yeah, it's important. It's important to find that one thing that keeps you going.
So, from the placement point of view, what according to you would be the most important subjects that we study in college?
Okay, most important subjects. Let me just recall what all subjects were there.
Yeah.
So the top on my mind and top on the list was data structures. And in data structures, I would say just knowing what is stack or what is a linked list, it's not enough. You need to know what needs to be used where. You need to know what is happening and why that is happening, and not just theoretically. I'm not saying that go too deep into the concepts and you need to know everything, but you need to know that when you're writing a program, should I do it through stack or should I do it linked list or hash map? What should be used where? Just that kind of understanding, that is enough. Secondly, algorithms, they're important because first of all, placement, all the placement questions and coding rounds will be based on that, so it is important from that perspective. And secondly, they help you frame analytical thinking structure, because you need to, when you go into algorithms and you do a lot of code in that direction, you learn what are the corner scenarios in each and every case. You know what all logic I have to cover up, so it really helps with that. Second important subject would be, I would say, DBMS. So DBMS and RDBMS, these concepts, these are first of all very interesting concepts, and secondly, they are pretty easy to grasp. And third thing is they are universal keys everywhere. So DBMS and RDBMS, they are not complex when you go inside the everything you develop, it will be always based on some data, and you will always need to lay out that data in, I would say, a very luxurious form. And every data will always be stored in form of a table, and table will always have a primary key or something. So yeah, all those concepts, they are pretty universal. So if you cover those concepts, you are good to go with DBMS and RDBMS. And third thing is, you had operating systems.
Yeah.
I'm going a little deeper into each and every subject, because yeah, everybody knows these subjects are important, but not exactly the topics and how far should we dig into all of those subjects. So yeah, in operating systems, I would say threading concepts, threads, deadlock, memory management programs. You should know that because they are like the soul of the computer. You will have, when you run a Java program, you should know that how should I do parallel programming? How should I make it more effective? Because at the end of the day, everything that you're learning has to be done into a practical form. You'll have to roll out a software somewhere in some company. So yeah, these three were the important subject. And yeah, lastly on the list would be soft skills, because a lot of us take it very lightly and we goof around in the classes, and I think that's okay. But yeah, quants and some of your soft skills will actually pay you well in the interview at the last. So yeah, these four subjects mostly.
Okay, as you mentioned that these are the subjects that are most important, but we study a lot of subjects like machine learning and artificial intelligence. There with these and we make a lot of projects in them, and we spend a lot of time with these subjects. Do they actually prove useful in the industry when you've landed a job? Are they actually useful when you're in the industry?
Okay. So I would say, the difference between fashion and fad is, so there are two words, fashion and fad. Fashion is
Okay.
something that is pretty consistent for a period of time, and fad is like a trend that comes in and then just disappears from the market. I'm not saying that AI is a fad. It's not a fad, it's a very promising thing, and obviously it has a lot of scope and promises in the future, and it will be a great thing. But I'm saying that from a student's point of view, AI and writing AI and data analytics in your resume has become a fad. Like, people will write it even if they don't know it or they don't have that much of knowledge about it. So one or two mistakes that I have did, I'll share that. So when you mention in an interview that you know quite a things about AI and ML, it's not just that you name a two or three algorithms in front of them and they'll be satisfied. So I think from what I have experienced is that industry expects you to know the very basis of AI, and that lies in linear algebra and your image processing subjects, convolution, all of those concepts. So those things are very important. So when you mention to somebody who's taking your interview, or in general when you have an interest in AI or ML or data analytics, just go back to those concepts, clear out them once, just go through it, because you just directly, you don't want to jump to a AIML project.
Yeah.
There is a lot of resource, you'll get a lot of resources on the internet for AIML projects, and you can just copy them, or you can follow the tutorials and you can make a project. That's not a big deal. The big deal is to understand all the layers of the algorithm that you are following or what you are doing. Understanding that is important. So yeah, you can write AIML in your resume, but write it only if you know the mathematics and very technical knowledge about that. Otherwise, write a simple project and say that I'm exploring this field and I know this so much, only this much about it, and I'm just keen to learn about it. I think that will be fine, and that will be the safer option.
Okay, so when would be a good time to start preparing from the placement perspective and like start practicing codes and stuff?
Okay. So preparing for placements, I would say first year, because in first year you don't even have subjects that are going to come in placements. So just chill in first year, just go around, have all the food you can, and enjoy. Go to Pondicherry at least once. So yeah, first year should be about all about that. But from second year, so in second year you start to get all these subjects that I just mentioned, DSA and
Yeah.
everything. So second year is where you should try to, at least whatever that is being taught in class, you should understand that. Don't be too disconnected from the class or the curriculum or the lab things that are going on. Because once you disconnect, it will be very hard to get back at the start of your fourth year and be like, okay, now I'll study for placements. No, that will be very tough. You will have coding, you'll have theoretical concepts, so you cannot expect all of that from yourself at the end of third or fourth year. So just concentrate on your regular classes in second, third year, and do a little bit of competitive coding. I would suggest just do a little bit. That was one of my mistakes, that I didn't do it because I was from a physical education background in class 12. So I took like more than needed time to grasp onto all the coding things. So yeah, just do that. And one thing that I would suggest is do your J components. Like if you're a project group lead or something, just lead that project nicely. Or if you're a member of a group, and even if you're trying to arrange a project that we generally do in VIP, just don't arrange it. Go through the project and just make one amendment to the project, be it to the project report or to the working of the project, or just try to question a little bit of things in the project, that if the other person has done it, why they have done things like that, and what can I change. Just it's that simple. So even if you do a little bit of those things, I think they are going to pay you in the long run.
So, should a student sitting for placements only have the package offered by the company in mind while they're sitting, and or should other factors also come into play?
Okay, so package and all the factors in selecting a job, they are very much dependent on the person. So they can actually vary a lot. But like in my opinion, the thing is, for me, package is the second thing on the list. And I would say it is second. I won't put it at the very bottom, because it's important and that's not very practical to say that yeah, package doesn't matter. It does. But the first thing is the kind of job that you're going to do. If you don't have interest at a particular kind of job, just don't do it, because you don't want yourself to get frustrated at the very start of your career. That's not what you are looking for.
Yeah.
So, just sit for the placement. Even if the job description does not satisfy you, sit for the placement and just go through the process, but don't accept it, or find a way to back out at a very earliest stage where it's possible. So, but sit through the process and explore that process of for that particular role. But if it doesn't suit you, don't take it. First thing would be role. Secondly would be package, and third thing I would say is stability of the job, or if the company has any conditions or any probation period or a lockdown period of 3 years or anything like that, just do that. And fourth will be city. Just talk to your family. They need you to be around them, or you are okay to move far away, or whatever the whole discussion is. Have that with your family and then decide that. I think you'll be good.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. I'm sure everything that you've said is going to be of great help to the freshers and to us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. I think it was a really nice session, and you guys have taken a great initiative, because it's great to find a place where you can have all of these inspiration. I
Yeah.
actually went through the 2 videos that you guys have already, and those people have done an amazing job. And same to you guys. Congratulations to your whole team. That is a
Thank
very
you.
big step that you are taking. Yeah, I think all the best to everybody.